Hi, I'm Rob Malpeli. I'm the coordinating author and proud to provide you with a brief overview of the new Fit for Life Health and Physical Education series for Years 7 to 10. It's been totally reimagined and redesigned for the new Victorian Curriculum 2.0. The previous edition won a Publishers Award for its contemporary and cutting-edge design, features, and engagement for students. This edition takes it to a whole new and improved level. The new Fit for Life series includes a student book for years 7 and 8 as well as 9 and 10 and accompanying workbooks which take out all the hard work for teachers. This takes it out of the equation when it comes to designing worksheets, case studies, data analysis tasks, etc. that all are required to develop those key competencies within your student cohort. There's no surprises here. The Fit for Life series is fully loaded when it comes to digital resources for both students and teachers. This makes learning so much more connected with the real world and allows for considerable personalisation of coursework. You'll see that students have access to videos and great animation, short, sharp and punchy. They've got formative quizzes that they can complete. There are chapter tests, there's web links throughout each of the chapters, and there's a whole heap of offline textbook PDF that they can access. For teachers, look at this right-hand column. There's chapter-based teaching plans. There's a respectful relationship map. It's one of the two mandated areas that need to be taught. There is a curriculum grid. There's answers to both checkpoints throughout the chapters and chapter reviews. More on these shortly. Every workbook question has answers provided to it. There's chapter PowerPoints. You wanted them, we've included them. There's scaffold templates, and as I mentioned, the possibility to customize coursework is going to be a real game changer. Let's unpack some of these key features. So as mentioned, there are videos. So the videos and inquiry questions provide short, sharp insights to the key content, and these will continue to generate thoughts, discussions, and personal reflections. For those who are familiar with the previous series, Mood Mission is an amazing tool that's used to promote health, well-being, and mindfulness throughout every chapter. Many of these activities have even been used in schools by homeroom teachers outside the actual HPE timetable space with great effect. Don't just pitch teaching down the middle and expect or hope that every student will levitate towards it. Pre-chapter quizzes and in-chapter quizzes allow you to find out what students know, what they've experienced prior to coming to your class, and also what myths and misconceptions they've been harboring. The pre-chapter quizzes provide a quick and easy way to gauge where students are at. This will inform how the following class or classes will be shaped, where you can speed up in your delivery of content and where you'll need to spend more time. The chapter review tests aren't anything new, but your ability to actually have a write-in answers is. Summative assessment is addressed via a series of chapter review tests which appear now in the new series with a write-in answer or response. This can quickly be checked as easily against suggested responses by students and teachers alike. We're always hearing about the need to scaffold learning and support students. We try to provide students with as much scaffolding support as possible during their learning journeys. Teachers are no different, and they will love the chapter-based teaching plans, which are highly modifiable to suit the school community resources, cultures, and cohorts that you find yourself in. Respectful relationships is one of those mandated content areas in the new Victorian Curriculum 2.0. It's quite evident where in the Fit for Life series and how this is going to be shared with your students during the 7 to 10 health and PE coursework and learning journey. Very explicit, very clear where it's appearing in your particular learning plan. Check out the new Fit for Life Nelson curriculum grids. We've done all the hard work for teachers and provided a curriculum grid which confirms all the content is covered and what specific parts of our new resource can be called upon when planning lessons. Checkpoint questions appear every 5 or 6 pages and quite frequently in each chapter. Why wait until the end of a topic or chapter to see what has been learnt? Learning checkpoints allow students to self-monitor their understanding and teachers to use or modify or take a pulse of where students are at, and the chapter review questions provide an overarching opportunity to link together key content and concepts in a really meaningful way. Each of the student workbooks have very detailed answers which can be modified to make them easy to understand and access depending on varied literacy skills that students have. What a bonus that is going to be. Chapter PowerPoints. Just when you thought these were gone and superseded, teacher feedback has indicated these still form a very valuable teaching and learning tool, and that's why we've included them. Recall that these can be used even more effectively when used in conjunction with videos and animations that's been created for the Fit for Life series. Scaffolding. Is this the new buzzword in education? It's used throughout workbooks and student activities that we've used as a means of showing how concepts are linked and learning is built upon previous learnings and experiences, and a great way for students to reflect on their own set of circumstances and pathways. Being digital, the new Fit for Life series allows for immense course customization. So courses can be customized to suit any health and physical education classroom. You can move content around to suit your teaching preference. You can hide certain content areas. You can streamline content for particular cohorts. For example, if you've got special year 9 and 10 health or physical education electives. So it's really endless in terms of how you can actually change and modify the coursework. It's not a set in concrete deal. Let's now take a closer look at some of these new student book features. So, what we have, the new series is not just a cut and paste. We've surveyed hundreds of teachers and embedded key features, latest research, data and content to make this series current and as contemporary as possible. It is 100% aligned with the new Victorian 2.0 curriculum. So it's fully updated with the latest research, data and content. So for example, you can see here a case study looking at e-scooters and Victoria's laws and how it actually affects students who are likely to use them in the cities of Melbourne, Yarra, Port Phillip and Ballarat. Throughout the student books, signposts direct learners to worksheets, digital resources such as videos, animations, self-reflections and PowerPoints. This is not just opening a book and reading it from cover to cover or start of chapter, etc. This is fully engaging. We want students to really engage with the health and physical education content. How frustrating is it when there's a web link and you click it and it just circles, the timer just keeps circling. The web links can crash and die, and lots of attention has been directed to ensure that those chosen in the new series actually have a long life. Importantly, they've been vetted for suitability, age-appropriate content, and underpinning all selections is the need for the sites to be safe. So throughout both series, you'll see web links that have been curated and vetted for suitability and safety. You can see on screen the 4 capabilities that we want students to actually develop as they're going through the health and physical education curriculum 7 through to 10. The 4 capabilities need to be encouraged, and students offer the opportunity to develop them throughout their physical and health education journey. Throughout each chapter, the capabilities have been signposted. We've seen evidence of signposting before to make it really explicit as to the main outcomes associated with learning tasks and investigation. By far, the largest emphasis has been on personal and social capability, as well as critical and creative thinking. However, ethical and intercultural considerations appear throughout each chapter and are explicitly signposted. If you're using the Nelson VCE PE series, you're familiar with looking forward, looking back. You're going to love the signposting to VCE studies. Many of our students will continue as they take on their Year 11 and 12 studies. So, signposting for outdoor education studies, physical education, and health and human development and VCE level actually shows students that what they're learning in Year 9 and 10 will form the foundations for further learning in each of these VCE studies. So let's just take a moment to look at how I would personally approach the teaching of respectful relationships. Remember, this is one of those mandated areas. So, first of all, we would role model a safe and inclusive environment. I'd create clear classroom agreements around respectful behaviour, inclusion, and active listening. And again, students learn as much from how we teach as what we actually teach. I then design or align lessons with the curriculum intent really purposefully. So I'd integrate respectful relationship topics across each of these particular levels: emotional literacy, personal strengths and identity, recognising and managing emotions, gender equality, positive gender roles, power in relationships, and then also how to actually have help-seeking strategies. Now, all of this is underpinned by Victorian Curriculum's 2.0 scope and sequence charts to make sure that what I'm actually teaching is age appropriate, all the way from, well, basically foundation to year 10. But when we're talking about secondary, we're talking about 7, 8, 9, and 10. You've seen these features before. I'd make really effective use of pre-chapter quizzes and the targeted videos that occur there and animations. So this is a really quick and easy way to find out how much students already know, what are their experiences, what are the misconceptions, and this really gets them switched on. It's a bit like doing that mental warm-up before we actually dive into concepts in a deeper way. The videos and animations cover concepts such as the recognising and managing emotions, gender equality, positive role models, consent, help-seeking strategies, etc. Some of those ones that I've already mentioned previously. So I'd actually use the pre-chapter quiz, then I'd dive into some of these videos and animations, short, sharp, punchy, before I actually get into the unpacking the content in a little bit more detail. I then use the chapter PowerPoints with content summaries to introduce new topics. So teachers love them, but students love them as well. So these can be used in conjunction with pre-chapter quizzes. They're really concise and engaging, as are the videos and animations. And these will stimulate an interest and direct students to much more detailed studies that we're going to be undertaking during classes. The chapter PowerPoints can also be used as a great summary tool and used at the conclusion of key content areas or the end of that particular chapter. I try and make the learning as real and relevant as possible. So I'd use real life or local community scenarios and role plays throughout. There's lots and lots of those examples throughout each of the chapters. This actually encourages students to practice communication, empathy, and problem solving, which are sort of embedded in those 4 other key competencies. So things like case studies and data analysis that is current and up to date. The role plays and simulations would form a really important part of teaching respectful relationships. I definitely have conversations about friendship, conflicts, consent, peer pressure, and I look at it from very different perspectives within the student cohort within that particular class. I'd also use personal reflections via workbook journals and entries, and this gives students an opportunity to reflect, to quietly consider their own take on what we've actually covered as a group, etc. And make sure that I explicitly teach consent and power dynamics, and it needs to be age appropriate. So what I teach at year 7 is going to be very different to what I teach students as they progress through to year 10. And I want to give a shout out here to the Department of Ed. They've got an awesome resource. So with secondary students, I would build upon the concepts of consent, boundaries, power imbalance, and I'd use the 4 R's, not triple R radio. I'd use resilience, rights and respect, and relationships. And there's a toolkit that the Department of Education has actually developed, and this also aligns really well with Victorian Curriculum 2.0. You've probably attended various professional development sessions, or you've seen the VIC videos, and maybe I should have done this from the start, but just to conclude, what are some of the updates in the new Victorian Curriculum 2.0 for health and physical education? So essentially the overarching structure of the new Curriculum 2.0 hasn't really changed a great deal from its predecessor, the 1.0. The learning areas, the capabilities, the cross-curriculum priorities, they're essentially the same as what they were. Importantly, there were revised strand titles. So the two main strands are now clearly labelled as health education, which was formerly personal, social and community health, and physical education, which was formerly movement and physical activity. And I think that this has been done basically to make it really, really clear, to avoid overlap, and it actually provides focus in the curriculum structure and planning. As mentioned, the two main strands are now clearly labelled as health education, which basically addresses contextual factors that influence health, safety, relationships, and wellbeing patterns of individuals, groups, and their communities. Physical education actually encourages the acquisition and application of skills, concepts, and strategies across a range of movement contexts. And for the phys editors here, movement is a really powerful medium for learning, through which students can acquire practice of physical, social, psychological, and cognitive skills. There's some food for thought here that I want to sort of put out there. Some schools that I've been talking with in helping their planning will not have a health teacher taking students to physical education areas, and vice versa will not have PE teacher taking students through health areas. So what we'll actually find is that some schools' PE teachers will address the PE strand and health teachers will address the health education strand. And education, as you're aware, I'm not telling you anything new here, is rapidly evolving. It makes great sense to have subject specialists deliver key content. This ensures more meaningful outcomes for teachers and students alike. I mentioned earlier that there are two mandated areas in the new Victorian Curriculum 2.0, the swimming and water safety and the respectful relationships. Now, Lifesaving Victoria have got some great resources in terms of the swimming and water safety, and we certainly have embedded a lot of those within both our 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 student books. Now, there's also a strengthened focus on outdoor learning. So the new Curriculum 2.0 places greater emphasis in learning in outdoor environments and actually encourages students to experience those outdoor environments and develop skills beyond traditional indoor settings. I'm not just talking about indoor gyms or inside classrooms. We want students to get out and get active in the outdoor environment. Another significant change in the new 2.0 version is there's clearer achievement standards, and I believe the content is much richer. I think students are going to be able to engage with it a lot better. So the achievement standards are now a lot more aligned with the content descriptions, and that really makes planning, assessing, and reporting really much more straightforward. Additionally, the content descriptors have actually been expanded with refined elaborations, and this actually supports diverse school contexts. There's also better digital accessibility and support for teachers. So there's a new and improved digital platform that's got all the Victorian Curriculum 2.0 curriculum materials. There's videos, professional learning modules, there's comparison tools between the 1.0 and the 2.0. So in terms of transitioning to the new 2.0, this should be a lot easier and user-friendly. So in concluding, the Fit for Life series, which has had an amazing track record, it did win publisher awards, has been recreated to deliver the best new Victorian 2.0 curriculum. Thank you for listening. I wish you continued success and enjoyment in all things HPE. Rob Malpeli signing off.